So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Samantha Peacoe, and I am the training coordinator and a customer service representative here at Casemaker. Casemaker is a legal research database provided to you as a part of your Nebraska Bar Association membership. In order to access Casemaker, you will need to go to the Nebraska Bar Association's website and log in using your regular credentials there. Once you're logged in on their website, you can follow the links to access Casemaker, and then you'll be placed here on the Casemaker homepage. Now, in order to access Casemaker, you do need to go through the Bar Association site every time. So you don't want to bookmark or favorite this particular page. That'll actually cause you more trouble than it's worth. What you'll want to do instead is actually bookmark the page on the Nebraska Bar site where you can access Casemaker and get logged in there. As I mentioned, once you're logged in and click through to access Casemaker, you're placed here on the Casemaker homepage. Over on the left of the homepage, you can see some links that are specific to your personal Casemaker account. We're actually going to go over these in greater detail in just a few moments. The top portion of your screen is the search area. This section contains everything you need to start your searching and actually remains at the top of your page regardless of where you are in the database. This will help keep you from getting lost in the system and gives you easy access for new searches. The main portion of the page is the browsing area. This is where you can navigate through the various content Casemaker provides. In the blue navigation bar, clicking the All Content tab will provide you with a listing of the libraries that Casemaker contains. The Federal Materials tab will provide you with a listing of the federal libraries. And the State Materials tab will provide you with a listing of all 50 states plus the District of Columbia. Now, regardless of your bar affiliation, all Casemaker members have access to all 50 states, the District of Columbia, as well as all of our federal materials. Let's go ahead and click on Nebraska to get started. As you can see, clicking on the state provides you with a listing of libraries that state has to offer. Each state is going to provide you with different levels of information, at a minimum giving you access to the administrative code, case law, statutes, court rules, and the Constitution. Many bar associations have partnered with us to provide access to Casemaker to their members, and in turn have asked us to provide additional content in those states. As you can see, Nebraska is a great example of this, offering many other libraries as well. So let's go ahead and choose a library to explore. I'm going to go ahead and click on Statutes. Clicking on Statutes provides you with a listing of chapters that you're able to explore. Each item is going to open in an index or table of contents fashion, so that navigating through the system is pretty simple. So we can click on a particular chapter.
John. My name is John.
And that's going to display the articles that chapter holds. We can then click on a particular article, of course, and see the listing of statutes that are contained within it. You can click on an individual statute to view the text that it contains. In addition to seeing the text of this particular statute, on the document page, you'll also see this red line of text letting you know how up-to-date this particular legislation is. If there was any new legislation affecting this statute, you would be notified of that here and instructed to click on the Supercode tab in the dark gray toolbar. As we can see, this particular statute is up to date. Also provided in the dark gray toolbar is the Archive tab. This provides you with the opportunity to view the statute as it stood in previous years. The Annotator tab is also provided in the dark gray toolbar. This is a new feature in the Casemaker system and will provide you with a listing of any cases that have cited this particular statute. So as we can see, this one is actually used quite often. We have several cases that are listed here. Not only are you able to see the text that surrounds where the statute was notated in the case, but you can also click through directly to the case to get a better look. The Browse TOC tab in the dark gray toolbar will take you back to the table of contents where the statute was located. In addition to clicking on an individual statute, you can also click on the italicized combined link at the top of the listing. This will provide you with the text from all of the statutes on this screen on one page. So what you'll actually be able to do is scroll through this article in its entirety to review all of it,
Yeah. Who is it?
as you can see here.
What is his problem? Well, then it's in his junk mail.
Now, when we're in our table of contents view browsing through the system, you may have also noticed that the search area has changed just a little bit. Just below where you can type your search in are a listing of different types of searches you can conduct. So you can search for a keyword, or you could elect to type in a chapter number, article number, section number, or conduct a combined search. A combined search will actually, of course, allow you to enter a combination of this information. And you'll then be able to search through our browsing system. When you're ready to return to the home page, there are two ways you can do so. You can locate and click on the home link here at the top of the search area, or you can click on the Casemaker logo. Our blue navigation bar also provides you with a link for our features. This is where you can go to view the descriptions and links for the various features that Casemaker contains. This breaks down some of the libraries that we hold, our additional subscription features, and some other partner services. Speaking of additional subscription features, Casemaker does have a suite of additional tools called Casemaker Pro. This includes Casemaker Digest, a summary service, CaseCheck Plus, a citator service, and CiteCheck, a brief analyzer. These features are actually included with your bar membership as a special feature that the bar has decided to take on the cost for all of its members. So as a member of the Nebraska Bar Association, you're actually receiving some extra perks in the Casemaker system. Let's go ahead and talk about Casemaker Digest. Casemaker Digest is a summary service that provides you with summaries of cases that are currently coming out of the court system within 72 hours of their publication. So when you're in the Casemaker Digest system, you can actually go through some of the cases that are being most recently decided. And we actually filter through these for you and sort them by area of practice, court, judge, and jurisdiction. Provided along with the summary itself, which you can see here in the central area of the screen, is a short name for the case, as well as a listing of the different practice areas that this particular summary falls under. Additionally, of course, noted is the court, date decided, docket number, and judge, alongside the date that it was added to our database. At the bottom of each summary in the Casemaker Digest system is a link that will take you to the case in full back in the Casemaker Research database. A lovely tool within Casemaker Digest is that you have the ability to set up RSS feeds or email alerts for cases in a particular area that you're interested in. So say, for example, you're interested in the appellate civil cases. You can click on the designated plus sign assigned to that particular area of practice, and the summaries that you view in the center of your screen are going to only be that area of practice. Now you can create a combination of these filters. So if you're also interested in evidence cases, you could click on that plus sign as well, and you'll see that you're adding to your filters here in the blue box at the top of your screen. Once you have an area of interest that works for you, you can then choose to set up an email alert that will allow you to receive daily or weekly email updates according to your preferences anytime a case is added to your areas of interest. Now, also provided in the blue navigation bar here on the Casemaker homepage is a link for the archive. Here you can select legislative acts or statutes, and then of course choose a state such as Nebraska. From here you can select a year and view the statutes or legislative acts as they stood at that time. We recognize that access to previous laws is helpful, especially when working on a case dealing with an offense that occurred a couple of years ago, for example. It would be necessary to view the laws as they stood at the time that offense occurred. So it's important to us at Casemaker to be able to provide that information to you. Now let's go back to the home page and take a look at searching. I know this is the part of the system that I utilize the most. I mentioned earlier that the top portion of your screen is the search area. This section contains everything you need to conduct your searches. This is our Google-like search bar. We say that it is Google-like because you can type in what you're looking for and Casemaker will provide results to you from all of our libraries. Much like entering a search in Google, how Google then provides you with websites as well as videos, images, shopping options, and more. Casemaker will provide you with results including case law, statutes, attorney general opinions, and so on, depending on your jurisdiction. Before conducting your search, you do need to establish the jurisdiction you're searching in. Casemaker defaults to all states, so you'll certainly want to make sure you change that to your particular needs. Directly to the right of the bar that you type in is our jurisdiction menu. Clicking on this box will open the menu and allow you to select as many or as few states as you see fit for your research. You can also select your federal materials here. Your state and federal level searching can be conducted simultaneously. You may have also noticed the Select Related Federal box. Checking this box will cause Casemaker to return results from your selected state or states, as well as any federal material relevant to that jurisdiction specifically. We'll go with all states for today's presentation. Once you've made a selection, be sure to click on the blue Save button at the bottom of the jurisdiction menu. Now you are ready to get started searching. You can type in pretty much anything you need into your search bar. Start with keywords, a citation, case name, any of it. If you prefer to conduct a more complex syntax search, I highly recommend that you click on the blue Search Tips link that appears here below the search button. I'm actually going to open this in a separate tab so we can take a look at it together. The Search Tips link is going to provide you with a description of the Boolean algorithms that work within Casemaker's research system, as well as an example of what you would type in to utilize them, and a description of the types of documents that would provide you with. You're not able to utilize natural language searching in the Casemaker system. Our system is written to use keywords and the Boolean features that you see here. That might be a hard switch for some people, but I found it's actually pretty easy. If you were to type in a sentence that you're interested in, so maybe not necessarily a question that you have, but if you had a particular sentence that you would type into a search database that does use a natural language search, if you just take out the connectors, the ands, the ofs, the ors, and use our Boolean algorithms instead, I think you'll find that switching to this type of search is a little easier than it feels at the time. It can be a little intimidating when you're first making that switch. Our customer support team is of course around to help you out with this as well. We know that this can be intimidating if you're making a big change, or maybe you would just like to see if we have any special tips for you. Our customer support representatives are pros at using the Casemaker system, and that's what we're here for, to help you out. So let's go ahead and get started searching. While you can combine and create complex searches in the Casemaker system, my first tip to you, and probably my biggest one, is to start your searches off pretty simple. The way Casemaker searches are able to be built upon gives you the opportunity to create a foundation search and add to it. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that for you. Let's get started off by typing in a couple of keywords. Of course, you'll want to make sure you type them in right, and you can then click the search button to get started. This then provides you with our initial results page. What you will see in your initial results are the top 2 most relevant results from each of the libraries in the jurisdiction you selected. So here we can see 2 results for cases, 2 statutes, 2 acts. There are of course administrative codes, rules, pleadings, etc. When you're ready to see all of the items in one particular library, because of course there are more than 2 cases in all 50 states containing the terms handguns and felony, there are 2 ways that you can take a look at the rest of them. You can choose to click on the View All link next to the library's heading, or you can select the library from the left-hand overview. This provides you with your results page, which lists 20 results per screen. So you can scroll through and view results 1 through 20 here, and then you can also use this arrow in our dark gray toolbar to proceed to results 21 through 40 and so on. Our left-hand menu has changed a bit. Here you can further narrow your results by adding search criteria. So this is how you can build up on your searches from this initial foundation. You can enter more keywords or Boolean algorithms, choose a particular jurisdiction or a specific court, type in a citation or docket number, a full or partial case name, judge, or attorney, as well as limit your results by date. Now personally, I find that 3,776 cases are too many to try and get through, so I'm going to narrow this down further. The original search that I typed in, handguns, felony, utilizes the AND search. This tells Casemaker that I only want documents that contain both of those words. And there's no restriction on where they can be found in that particular document. So felony might show up in the first paragraph and handguns could be in the 30th, or they could be side by side. We didn't put any type of parameter on that particular search. But there are, of course, instances when you do want your words that you're looking for to be closer together. One of the ways that you can do this in the Casemaker system is to utilize a proximity search. I'll go ahead and get that typed in and then explain how it works. So I've typed in assault W/15 prior. The W/ is our proximity indicator. It tells Casemaker that we're looking within a certain number of words for the terms that we have typed in. I've chosen the number 15. This can be a number of your choice, 2, 20, 200, whatever you think works best for you. You can put your terms on either side of this, and it's not going to favor one direction or the other. I'm going to go ahead and click Go. So what Casemaker is doing is it's providing us with all of the cases that contain both the word handguns and the word felony, as well as the term assault within 15 words of the term prior. Now that could be assault, then 15 words, then prior, or that could be prior, then 15 words, then assault. The direction in which the terms are relevant to one another is inconsequential in this particular search. And of course, they could be less than 15 words spaced as well. This brought us down to 168 cases, which is a significant decrease. But I think we could still do better and narrow that down further in order to get through our research in one day. I can do this by adding more search terms using the Search Within Results box, or I can add upon our search using any of the facets provided in the left-hand menu. Another way that we can keep words closer together or more relative to one another is by using a phrase search. So say, for example, you have the phrase right of way. If you were to type that into our system, just as it sounds like you should, what's going to happen is Casemaker is going to look for the word right and the word of and the word way, and they might be side by side and they could be several paragraphs apart. And of course, the word of is used so many times in any given document, you're going to receive numerous hits and you'll be going through those of occurrences all day. What you can do instead is use a phrase search. This will keep your words side by side. All you have to do is surround your phrase with quotation marks. So for example, I'm interested in finding the phrase minor child. So then I'll surround it with quotation marks. This tells Casemaker to keep those two terms, or however many you type in, side by side. Now the reason that I recommend starting your searches off pretty simple and then building up on them is so that you have the opportunity to evaluate the type of search that you're doing, what's working and what's not, and then you can make changes. Because a lot of times when you're conducting research, there are going to be times where you run into a wall of sorts, like the one we see here. No documents found. That's not helpful. That's certainly not going to get us anywhere with our research. Instead of having to start the search over again, and starting from the beginning, what I can do now is actually look at my results and evaluate the different queries that I chose to enter and see what worked and what didn't and what I could maybe tweak just a little bit. And this is also really handy if you do have results but they're not helpful for your research. So I'm going to go ahead and evaluate the search that I've typed in. My foundation search is solid. The handguns felony, I'm actually really comfortable with how that worked out. I'm going to keep it there. Any change that you make to this search bar here at the top of your search screen initiates a brand new search. So that's important to know. However, any changes that you make in your left-hand menu, just make changes in the search you've already established. So I am interested in seeing only case law at this time, so I'm happy with the category. I'm very pleased with how assault within 15 words of prior limited our results, but seemed to keep us on track, so I want to leave that as well. But looking at the phrase minor child, I'm pretty confident there's something else I could type in instead that might actually give us some cases. So what I'm going to do now is uncheck the corresponding box for that particular item, and Casemaker will regenerate the results without it. So now instead of using the phrase minor child, I can just try using the keyword minor. And we'll see what Casemaker has to do with that. Excellent. So this actually gives us 48 cases. This isn't too many, it's not too few. It certainly isn't too hard to try and dig through these to see what's going to work. I think I'm pretty comfortable with how this research turned out. Let's go ahead and take a look at those results now. By default, the results are sorted according to relevance. However, you can change this by using the Sort By option in the dark gray toolbar. We also offer date decided, number of times cited, and state in ascending or descending order. I will point out that relevance is determined by the number of times your search terms appear in a document. So our number one result will have the most occurrences of everything I've typed in, while our 48th result will have the least number of occurrences. That's helpful to know. Also provided in the dark gray toolbar is the opportunity to download, save to folder, email, print, and view details. View details is referring to the contextually relevant snippets of information containing your search terms that appear in each listing. The results themselves will provide you with some information, including case name, citation, parallel citation where available, court, date decided, and the number of times it was cited in the database. Next to this number is a graph icon. Clicking on this icon will open a graph providing you with the number of times that the case has been cited over the years. You can hover over each of the dots provided to see how many times it was cited in that year specifically, and clicking on the dot will provide you with a listing of cases that you can actually click on and explore. Of course, the key shows you whether or not those cases were that have cited this case were in the same state of publication, other states, or federal. You may have also noticed the green thumbs up and red thumbs down icons. This is part of Case Check Plus, one of our additional subscription features the Bar Association is providing for you. Case Check Plus is a citator service, letting you know whether or not the case is still good law. The green thumbs up indicates the case has not received any negative treatment in subsequent cases. The red thumbs down, of course, indicates that it has. So to review, green thumbs up, good law, red thumbs down, maybe you should review it a little closer. Let's go ahead and take a look at the case by clicking on the large blue title portion. This allows us to access the document of the case. That's noted by the Document tab in the dark gray toolbar being highlighted on this page. Next to this tab is Citing References. This will give us a listing of the cases that cited this case. Links to these cases are included and will take you directly to the portion where the case that you are researching has been involved. Also provided is the Negative Treatment tab. This corresponds with that green thumbs up and red thumbs down and provides you with a listing of cases that negatively affected the case you're researching, including how it happened. So as we can see, this particular case has been questioned, reversed, and granted by separate cases. Upon returning to the Document tab, you can see a light gray toolbar that gives us some useful links as well. We can click here to return to the listing of our results, or use this set of arrows to go to the previous or next result from the listing. This second set of arrows will allow you to toggle back and forth between occurrences of your search terms. Each of the terms that you've searched for is colored in red so that it's able to be identified easily. We've also incorporated a page jump feature. This makes navigating a lengthy case such as this one much easier. No more scrolling for what feels like days. Just a couple of simple clicks and you are right where you needed to be. Speaking of page numbers, Casemaker incorporates parallel citations as well as dual pagination. The first citation provided corresponds with the page jump feature, as well as the orange page numbers you can see throughout the document. The second citation provided does not correspond with the page jump feature. However, pagination for this citation is included and can be identified by the bold black text surrounded by brackets throughout the document. We've also incorporated a font resize option. With just one click, the size of the font on your screen significantly increases, and with a second click, will return to standard. Let's go ahead and demonstrate that for you again. One click to increase, and a second click to return. The Notes menu is last in our light gray toolbar. You do have the ability to add a note to any document you find in the Casemaker system. This note is specific to your account and cannot be seen by any others, and you can add as many notes to as many documents as you would like. To add a note, you'll click on the Notes menu and choose Add Note. You can then type your note in and click Save. The note is then stored at the top of your document. You can use the Notes menu to decide whether it's hidden or on display. You can make changes to your note by using the pencil icon that corresponds, and you can delete the note by using the corresponding X. Of course, the dark gray toolbar still provides the opportunity to print, email, save to folder, and download. Let's go ahead and click on Print. Here you can select the document format that you'll be printing to. We currently offer PDF, Word, and WordPerfect at this time. You can choose between single and dual column layout. You can highlight the terms you searched for, print the list of citing references, and you can also choose to print the listing of negative treatments. Additionally, you can attach the notes you've typed in, as well as a separate cover page. You have these same opportunities when you email, as well as when you download. I would like to point out that when you're downloading, you also have the additional opportunity to select HTML format. Now let's go ahead and talk about Save to Folder. Let's say your standard practice is to print cases that you need or download them to your work computer. After dinner, you've gone home and you have time to do some more research, and you'd like to review a case you found earlier in the day. Well, now you have to access Casemaker again anyways, because the case that you printed is sitting on your desk at the office. Or you downloaded it to your work computer, but that's only helpful if it's a laptop and you remember to bring it home with the charging cord. We all know how that goes. So instead of wasting your time or your paper or the space on your hard drive, you can actually save the items you need to a folder in your Casemaker account, which is accessible from anywhere you can access the web. So there's nothing else you have to carry with you. To save an item to a folder, the first thing you have to do is actually create the folder. You can click on the Save to Folder icon and type in a folder name right here into the New Folder Name field and click Create. Once you have a folder ready to go, there are two ways you can save to it. The first is pretty straightforward. You click on the Save to Folder icon, choose the folder that you would like to use, and click Save. The second method is a little more hands-on, but certainly comes in handy. This time you can click on the orange My Folder icon next to the search button. Choose your folder and click OK. This allows the orange folder icon to represent the folder that you've chosen. And from this point you can actually click, drag, and drop documents into that folder for saving. This feature really comes in handy if you're going to be saving many documents to the same folder during your particular research period. As well as when you have a list of documents, it's pretty simple to set this up and then just drag and drop each one individually. When you're ready to view the contents of your folders, you can click on the white My Folders link here at the top of the search area. The listing of your folders is displayed on the left, and clicking on your folder will display its contents in the central area of the screen. Do keep in mind that the length of time this folder takes to open directly corresponds to how much information is inside of it, but should still only take a few moments. And once the folder is open, you have the opportunity to move, rename, or delete the folder. And you can use the individual checkboxes to print, download, email, or throw away individual contents. You'll notice that each item in your folder has a date stamp so that you can recall when it was added to this folder by yourself. Next to the My Folders icon at the top of the search area is a link for your clients. Here you can create and store a list of clients that you'll be conducting research for. Click Add next to the client name field, type in your client's name or other identifier, and click OK. You could then select your client from the drop-down menu and choose Continue. Or you can also choose to keep track of the different matters that you're handling for that client. Click Add next to the matter number field, type in a name or other identifier, and click OK. You can then select that item from the drop-down menu and choose Continue. Making your selections and choosing Continue effectively logs you in as doing research for this client. You can be reminded of this by noticing the client link has changed to display the client's name. And from this point forward, any research you do or documents you view are being labeled as research for this client. And I'll show you how this comes in handy in a moment. I'd also like to go ahead and point out our Cosmolex Practice Management link you can see here at the top of the search area. This is part of a new partnership with Cosmolex that will allow you to create a free trial with them or integrate your existing Cosmolex account into the Casemaker system. This creates detailed time records for your research as well as aiding in billing management for your firm. So that might be something you'd like to check out. For now, let's go ahead and get back to searching. This time, let's say you want to search for a statute and you have the statute number. Now, you could click on Nebraska and then click on the chapter. Well, actually, I guess first you would need to click on Nebraska and then click on statutes and then click on the chapter and then click on the article and then scroll until you find the statute and then click on it in order to open it. Or if you have the statute number, you can just type that in right here on our home page. Of course, make sure you choose your jurisdiction. We certainly don't want to look for this particular statute number in all 50 states. Could you imagine how many statutes that would pull up? They won't all be necessary for your research. Once you have your statute number plugged in and your jurisdiction selected, I highly recommend using the Section radio button. This tells Casemaker how to apply the information that you have typed in, and you can then click Search. As we can see, the statute we were looking for comes right up. But let's go back to the home page and see what happens if we don't use the Section radio button. So this time I'll type in our statute number and I will choose our jurisdiction and then I'll just click Search. What happens is Casemaker defaults to a keyword search setting. So while the statute we were looking for does appear, it's alongside any other time this particular string of numbers has been found throughout the jurisdiction's database. And that can give you some really interesting information, or it can be more of a burden. You can search in a similar manner for a case you have the citation to. From the home page, just type your citation in. Now, of course, you could click on the jurisdiction and click on case law and click on the reporter and then click on the volume number for that reporter and then scroll around and click on the page number that you need. but I think it's a little bit faster if you just type your citation right here on the home page. As you can see, I didn't use any spacing, capitalization, or punctuation. You can if you'd like to, but Casemaker will automatically correct the formatting for you. However, you will need to be sure to properly abbreviate your reporters. Casemaker goes by the Blue Book Citation Guidelines if you have any questions regarding abbreviations. But say, for example, I were to type in SW3RD for the Southwest Third Reporter. That's not a recognized abbreviation for this particular site, and thus Casemaker would give us 0 documents. And that's really frustrating. So I know that I have my citation typed in properly. Because the citation is already state or reporter specific, I don't have to be too choosy with my jurisdiction. But do keep in mind, Casemaker defaults to all states. So if you're typing in a federal level citation, you'll want to make sure you change that over to federal database here in the jurisdiction menu. After you've got everything set up, use the citation radio button to tell Casemaker how to apply the information you typed in, and then click search. As you can see, the case we were looking for comes right up. Now this particular citation brings up a second case, and there is a very good reason for this. This case does match our search criteria. Volume 256 of the Southwest Third Reporter, and it does appear in part on page 72. So rest assured, if you're typing in a pin site, you'll still be able to locate the case you're looking for. Let's go ahead and go back to the home page. Now I mentioned earlier that the top portion of your screen contains everything you need for conducting your searches. There is, however, one exception to this, and that is the advanced search link. Let's go ahead and give this a click. It's over here on the left-hand side of your screen under My Accounts. The advanced search link gives you the opportunity to type in some very specific information for conducting case law research. You can enter a citation, case name, docket number, court, attorney, judge, panel, or a date range, and any combination therein. However, before you do this, you do need to choose your jurisdiction from the home page. So we're going to go ahead and click Cancel. You can choose your jurisdiction. Let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to step out of the box here. And I think we'll go with this particular search, something you may not be familiar with. So I've chosen my jurisdiction. I've established Wyoming for this one. You can then click on the advanced search link and type in any of this information. So say, for example, I wanted to see all of the cases that have been decided since January 1st of 2014 through today's date that were decided by Judge Hill. I can conduct that search, and Casemaker will provide us with those results specific to case law. As we can see, there are 83 cases. Now, let's say that we've just done this research and a client walks in the door. Clearly, we don't have the opportunity to actually look at all of these results right now, but we do want to see them, and we don't want to have to conduct that research again. That's great. There's not a problem with that. You can utilize the Save Search link that you can see here below the jurisdiction box. Just clicking this link saves your search, and when you have the chance, you can go back to Casemaker's homepage later in the day, click on the My Saved Searches link, and pull that search right back up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the links provided at the top of the search area. We've gone over our client link and the Cosmolex Practice Management link, as well as folders. Let's go ahead and click on History. Casemaker actually keeps track of the documents that you go through and the searches that you conduct since the very first time you log into our system. Each item in your history includes a date and timestamp as well as a client label if you performed it while logged into a client. So say, for example, you spent Friday searching for hours for a statute, and then you forgot to save it to your folder, and you didn't print it, you didn't email it, and you did not download it. Not a big deal. Take a deep breath, and then access your history. Here you'll be able to use the date and timestamps, client labels, and descriptions to find that particular statute without having to do all the research again. Also provided as a link at the top of the search area is a link for our videos. This will give you the opportunity to go over some Casemaker tutorial videos. The very first one provided is our newest, and this is our introductory training video. This goes over about half of what we covered in today's webinar and is a great refresher for utilizing the Casemaker search and browse system. It's about 26 minutes long, so you will need to be able to either pause and play it, which is a great thing about these stored videos at your disposal, or you'll of course need to set aside 26 minutes. Maybe it's a great refresher for your lunch break. Also provided in the videos page is a link for our tutorial overview. This just kind of goes over the features in Casemaker, so if you can't quite remember whether or not we do something, you'll probably be able to find it here. This video is only 6 minutes long. There's also videos reminding you how to use CaseCheck Plus, our citator service, and Casemaker Digest, our summary service, as well as SiteCheck, our brief analyzer. We actually haven't talked about this one yet, so we'll go through it now. SiteCheck, as I mentioned, is a brief analyzer. It allows you to upload a brief or other document containing citations, and the Casemaker system will take that, run it through SiteCheck, and SiteCheck pulls each of the citations in that document out one by one and puts those through our citator service, CaseCheck Plus. SiteCheck then puts out a report telling you whether or not each of those citations individually are still good law. You can then print that report or email it to yourself or a colleague, whatever you need to. I highly recommend you checking out this particular demo video so that you get a better idea for how that works and how you can utilize that for your services. I will say that when you do use our SiteCheck service, the brief analyzer only takes about 3 minutes to work, so it's pretty speedy and it gives you an immediate result. Also provided in the videos is a reminder of using our client settings, custom folders, and shows you how Casemaker Libra is integrated in our system. Casemaker Libra is actually a publication rental service that we offer. It allows you to create searches and actually then rent CLE materials from different publishers. At this point in time, we have the Washington State Bar Association as well as the Colorado Bar and a couple other publishers included in Casemaker Libra, and we are adding to them daily. So that might be something you're interested in checking out as well. Provided next to the videos link at the top of the search area is the help link. This gives you the opportunity to review our Casemaker user guide that is in PDF format. You can use that link that's provided here to access it. There's also another port for accessing our videos and the opportunity to register to attend free live webinar sessions very much like today's. You can click on that link here from the help screen as well as the webinar link at the top of the search area. Of course, provided on the help screen is our customer support information. Casemaker's live customer support is available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Here we provide our toll-free telephone number as well as our email address, and an access point for our live chat feature is provided here on the help page as well as at the top of the search area. The live chat feature is new to Casemaker and allows you to instant message right on your computer screen with our customer support personnel during our regular business hours. Now, let's go ahead and go back to the home page, and now we'll take a look at the rest of the links provided here under My Accounts. The first of which is My Settings. You do have the opportunity to change Casemaker's default settings to be more personalized for your use. So, for example, you can change your default search area. Casemaker defaults to all states and related federal, but if you really only conduct searches in Nebraska, you could make that change here. Click OK, and that's reflected. You can also change the search data type. I mentioned earlier that Casemaker provides you with results from all of our libraries. That's cases, statutes, attorney general opinions, and so on. But if that's not of interest to you, and 80% of the time when you're conducting a research you're only looking at cases, you can change your data type here. This isn't something that I recommend doing only because I have found that it's really useful to see what other results there may be in different libraries when I'm conducting research. But that's a personal decision, and you have the ability to make that on your own right here in the Casemaker system. You can also change your default sort order between relevance, date decided, and number of times cited. You can choose to automatically populate an email address. So if you have a long email address such as mine and you send out emails for the documents that you find, and say you found 20 documents today, that means 20 times you have sat here and typed in your email address, typos and all, 20 times. So instead, you can actually just type in an email address here. You can use more than one by separating with a semicolon and a space. So that'll automatically populate every time you click the email link in a document. You can also, of course, remove it every, say 90% of the time you send an email to yourself, and one time you want to send an email to a colleague. All you have to do is delete it. You don't have to change your settings. That's definitely readily available for you. You can choose your print option between a list of items and document. You can choose your default format between PDF, Word, and WordPerfect, and your page layout between single and dual column. Once you've made your changes, you'll want to be sure to click the Save button, and you can then click Close. If for any reason you would like to go back and default back to Casemaker settings, you'll just click on My Settings, and click Reset, and click Save, and click Close. Also provided under the My Account section is another access point for your folders and your history. Pleadings by CaseEdge. This is actually part of a new addition to the Casemaker system. It's a recent partnership that gives you the opportunity to register with CaseEdge. You can do a free trial that provides you with access providing you with access to up to 5 pleadings per month. That's 5 full pleadings per month for free. You do have the ability to purchase additional pleadings outside of that if you would like. And sample pleadings are always included in your search results, even if you don't sign up for the free trial, you're not interested. So say, a couple weeks from now, a month or so from now, you do come across the need for a pleading, you can, of course, initiate that free trial then to make the most of it. There's also another link for our Cosmolex Matters system, as I pointed out here at the top of our screen. And then we have a mobile application link. Casemaker does indeed have a mobile app, and it's free. So you can download that to your iDevice or Android device through your App Store. And it's actually going to require that you register to use it. That registration process takes place here on the Casemaker homepage. You'll click on the mobile application link, and it'll ask you for some basic registration information. First and last name, email, phone number, that kind of thing. Once you submit that information, you are provided with a reference code. This code is specific to your account, so we really highly recommend that you do not give it out to anybody else. Not only does that reference code tell us, yes, you are a Casemaker user, so yes, you should get the app for free and be able to access it, of course. But it also tells us which one of our users you are. So your folders are still accessible, as well as your history being saved, your clients, etc. So if you did share this mobile application reference code with a colleague, for example, then your mobile searches are going to be intermingled. Your search history will be interspersed with their search history, and it just gets really messy, and it's not so confidential if you do that. So please do not pass out that reference code. But you don't have to worry about remembering the reference code either. It's a one-time thing. Unless, of course, you do a hard factory reset on your phone or you get a new device, you don't have to memorize it. It's not like a password that you have to enter all of the time. You only need to enter it the first time you use the application. So you'll download the application after you've registered for it, and of course that's free. And then when you go to access it, it'll ask you to enter the email address that you registered with and the reference code you were provided. This reference code is case sensitive, so you'll need to make sure that you enter it carefully. And then you're done. You'll put right into the mobile application system, and you don't need to worry about that reference code again. If you do get a new device or you do a factory reset on your phone, for example, and you do need that reference code again, not a problem. Once you've registered for a reference code, the mobile application link will take you to the reference code each time. I've actually timed out of my particular experience at the moment. I apologize for that. But you can click on the mobile application link and it'll provide you with that reference code again, so you don't have to memorize it. You don't need to store it somewhere. It's always readily available as you need it. Now, anytime that you have logged into a web page, be it your Facebook or your LinkedIn account, your bar association page, or your email, maybe you've logged in to pay your water bill, for example, it is always a good idea to log out for your security purposes. Upon clicking our Sign Out link, you'll be logged out of the system and provided with a session summary. This is a complete listing of everything you did while logged in, including date and timestamps, as well as client labels if you perform them while logged into a client. And I do recommend that you print your session summary to keep for your records, because the date and timestamps can help you keep track of your billable hours if you're not utilizing the Casemaker system. So before we conclude, I would like to go back to our search tips link, and I do still have that open in a separate tab here. And I want to go over the rest of the operators that we didn't touch on in today's webinar. So we did utilize the AND search by typing in handguns space felony. We conducted an AND search. And we utilized the phrase search when we searched for minor child. We surrounded it with quotation marks. And we also initiated a proximity search when we typed in assault within 15 of prior. So let's talk about the rest. If you type the word or in capital letters between two words, you tell Casemaker to look for, as an example that's provided here, alimony or support. So the documents that you're provided with will have either the term alimony or the term support. Similarly, typing in the not function will provide you with documents that contain, for example, the word property, but not the word commercial. You do have the opportunity to group any and all of our search options here. If you run into any problems with conducting a particular search, you can use our live chat feature to get some help from our customer support team. That's actually really great for our search help, because then you can just copy and paste any search suggestions our team may have for you, instead of making sure you have the right number of spaces and letters or having to retype it yourself. That copy and paste function can really save you some time. Additionally provided, and probably one of my favorite options, is the thesaurus search. By typing a tilde, this lovely squiggly line, in front of one of your search terms, this provides Casemaker the opportunity to provide you with results that include that specific term or any synonyms for it. So if we type in parole with a tilde, for example, we'll get results that include probation, freedom, release, etc. But the asterisk search, I think, might be my absolute favorite. This acts as a bit of a wild card. By typing in the word run, for example, and then an asterisk, Casemaker will give us results including run, runs, runner, running. It's important to note that it's not going to give you the word ran. We're not changing the tense of a particular word. We're just changing the variable on how it can be typed out and an ending. This really comes in handy, I have found, if you're looking for something such as attorney fees, and you're not sure if it's going to show up as attorney, singular, attorneys, plural, or attorneys, possessive. So if you type in attorney asterisk, you'll get all three, and that's certainly helpful in the system. So this actually concludes my presentation for the Casemaker system. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask those. And of course, you are more than welcome to contact our customer support team through the live chat link, the help link, and of course at the bottom of every page in the Casemaker system is a link to email us and our toll-free telephone number. So at this time we will pause and see if there are any questions that anyone may have that I can address for you. All right, we'll wait just another moment to see if anyone has any questions. Please feel free to type those into your chat bar. I'll wait for another moment. All right, well, there does not appear to be any questions, so thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for today's webinar. Again, if you do come up with any of those questions after the conclusion, please feel free to contact us using, again, the live chat link, the help link, or the links and phone number provided at the bottom of your screen. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me for today's webinar. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week.